working on the electrical system. We already restored the voltage regulator, which is the black thing there in the back, as well as the auxiliary charging socket, this piece here. And the next part is going to be the battery switch, which gets mounted on this side. Let's have a look at that one. This is the battery switch, main switch here. We also have a small fuse panel behind this cover, as you can see. And these are very basic fuses, just a piece of wire, and you have the option to store some excess spare wire on the other end. Very useful for field repairs. And the biggest challenge is going to be getting all the paint off, but also on the other side we'll have our work cut out, because there's a lot of the insulation here which is completely brittle and just peels off, so we're going to have to fix that. So we've got some shrinking sleeve. I'm going to try to repair it with that, different sizes. But first, let's get on with the sanding. This is what it should look like once it's reinstalled. So we have the voltage regulator in the back, aux plug here, and then the battery switch here, and then the batteries will come here at the bottom. And I'll look at the electrical diagram, voltage regulator, battery switch. In the meantime, Wart is working on the periscopes, the different periscopes, the ones in the hull and the ones that go into the turret. Also not an easy task, especially to get all of the paint off. There's a lot of edges, so it's not an easy task. The battery panel has already been sanded, so it's nice and clean, ready to be painted. But before we do that, we're gonna re-sleeve some of the wires, and we already started doing that as well. So some of the thick ones we're already done, a couple of the smaller ones, but as you can see, still a lot of wires that we even need to take away the insulation because it's all hardened and brittle, but it's progressing nicely. Wart and Rob have been meticulously taping off all the different parts of the 4 periscopes. It took a lot of work. And this way we can spray it without messing up the optics. The battery switch panel has been completely re-sleeved, so all the wires have a new rubber coating. They've all been measured through to make sure that all the wires are where they should be. As you can see, we have a small electrical diagram to aid us. So this is now ready for painting and then reassembly. I also managed to find the actual switch and even the rear cover here to make sure that the entire box doesn't come into contact with the hull. Also found that one. So yeah, all that's left to do is paint and we can mount it. Time to install the battery switch panel. Okay, that's 2 bolts. That's number 4. Of course, there has to be one that's causing us problems. And that's number 5. Now to connect the aux plug. That's the right one. So that's the negative lead. Now to connect the positive wire, which is this one. Just checking the insulation. It's thick enough. We'll probably put some shrink sleeve on this metal bar to make sure it doesn't contact the positive wire. What's left to do is tighten these, put in 2 bolts here, and then the earth wires. Battery switch panel has been reinstalled, hooked up to the aux switch. The battery wires are connected. All that's left to do is connect it to the DC voltage regulator, and once that's done, we'll see if we can attach some batteries, find something with lights, and then hopefully test the system. So we hooked up a 12-volt battery to power the battery switch panel, and now let's check on the inside to see if it works. And now for le moment suprême. The battery switch is on, and we have lights, and nothing is smoking, so it works. Another Churchill milestone.
March along.